Is now Minister for Veterans Affairs, Johnny Mercer. Hi. Good
Hi,
to
Kay,
see you.
how are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for joining us. I don't think you've been on the sofa when I've been in previously, so it's nice to see you. Thanks
nice
for coming in. What are we going to do about the Northern Ireland Protocol and the impasse that has been created?
Look, I think it's clear the Northern Ireland Protocol doesn't work for any sides in Northern Ireland, and the Prime Minister's doing everything he can to resolve that and get to a solution that preserves the Good Friday Agreement and make sure that there's the free flow of trade in Northern Ireland. That's been going on for some time, I think, and we're looking forward to resolving that and getting on and realising all the benefits of Brexit.
How are you going to resolve it?
Well, look, the Prime Minister's in negotiations at the moment, isn't he? And, he had good discussions last week with the European Union. He's got good engagement going on at the moment with other MPs and, we'll see what comes out of this. Yeah,
but because of Brexit, there has to be a border somewhere. Boris Johnson has said time and time again, ERG saying the same thing, that there cannot be a border in the Irish Sea. So that would mean there'd have to be a border between Ireland and Northern Ireland, and that would be against the Good Friday Agreement. So where does that leave you?
So, okay, obviously, I mean, it feels like we're stuck in a time warp, doesn't it? Because we're talking about the same things that we've been talking about for 4 or 5 years. Let's give the Prime Minister a chance to come out with something, right? He's attacking this. He is throwing everything he can into it. He voted for and campaigned hard for Brexit, right? So he's not going to sell anyone out or come up with a solution that's unfair or doesn't deliver on what he thinks is Brexit. I think let's give him a chance, give him the opportunity to bring some sort of resolution to the protocol, and then let's get behind him and get on with all the other challenges that we face across this country at the moment.
A deal this week?
I don't know, I hope so, but let's see what happens. He's working hard and let's see what happens.
Talk to me about your brief. You're announcing new money for projects helping veterans. Tell me more.
Yeah, so look, the Health Innovation Fund we're launching today. We, clearly we're on a drive to make this the best country in the world to be a veteran. There are some veterans who will wake up this morning with really difficult wounds that still don't heal and really, bed sores and pressure sores and things like that. And we're investing £5 million in technology companies and other companies across the UK, 22 different companies, looking at really innovative and, exciting technologies that will help people improve and heal their wounds. I was at a company yesterday that looked at electronic plasters, right, where you can, put these plasters on people who had amputations and so on and pass a current through them and actually start to heal some of these wounds that haven't healed for such a long time. So, look, it's really exciting, except it's niche, right? But I think the way the country looks after veterans is a big marker by which we should be judged. I think that's fundamentally changed under this government. And, it's another waypoint on the way to making this the best country in the world to be a veteran.
You have championed the Troubles Legacy Bill. You seem to be the only person that does. Why are you continuing to plough on with it?
Well, I don't think I am the only person who does. I think, obviously, the airways will be dominated by people who don't like it, which is
opposed by all parties in Northern Ireland, the Irish government and...
Yeah, of course, and it's going to be, right? And if they were happy with it, I don't think we'd hear anything about it. The Troubles Legacy Bill in Northern Ireland is incredibly difficult, right? It's incredibly sensitive. You're dealing with really, really difficult issues that have reared their heads over the last 25 years since the Good Friday Agreement. I think it's pretty clear that what has happened, and you've seen this over the course of the last year, is not fair. It's not fair on anyone. It's not delivering outcomes for victims. It's not delivering fairness for veterans. And, the government was elected on a manifesto promise to bring that to a close and bring some sort of reconciliation and resolution for victims in this space. And, the government should be commended for that. It's not easy, right? Solving what has happened in Northern Ireland and dealing with legacy is not easy. You can't just throw slogans at it and say, we're going to open up the books or protect it. It doesn't work like that. Legacy is really, really difficult. And if you're really committed to helping the victims understand what has happened, then you would support this bill and sort of encourage the transparency that it presents. And the Northern Ireland Secretary has done a great job in bringing communities with him in Northern Ireland. Obviously, I totally accept that everyone is against this, and I understand in Northern Ireland, and I respect that. That is their job, and they represent particular parts of the population in Northern Ireland. I don't think it's the wrong thing to do.
Say again? That's because it offers an amnesty.
Yeah, but there is no way. It doesn't offer an amnesty, right? First up, it's not an amnesty. People who think it's an amnesty don't know what an amnesty is. Secondarily, that you cannot have laws that disaggregate between claimants, between those who served in the military and those who didn't. So, look, we have to operate in the real world. We have to operate with the world as we see it. Is it where we, a solution that we all want to see. Well, look, I don't think you're going to get that in legacy. I think some of these crimes, the evidence just doesn't exist anymore, and we have a duty to make sure that existing structures are not abused and by one side or the other, and that we try and deliver fairness for victims in this space, and at the same time not allow the abuse of our veterans.
Talk to me about Shamima Begum. Should she be allowed to return to the UK?
Look, I think there's a lot of information in this space with her that has not been made public. Sajid Javid, when he was Home Secretary, he made his decision around that, and I support him in that. I think that case is going through the courts today. Let's see what they say. But look, it's in spaces like this with national security, there is so much information that is not in the public domain, and you have to trust the processes and trust the Secretaries of State, like Sajid, when he made that decision, and the courts to make sure that we come to the right conclusion. I'm sure she'll be treated fairly.
She was only 15 when all this happened. She was a kid. She was groomed.
That's something the court will take into consideration. That's not for me.
And can we not put her on trial? I mean, is it not a place where we can put?
But again, they are working through all these questions in the court and clearly in the Home Office. Look, I don't have a view because I'm not
sure you do.
cited on all the high side intelligence around her. Clearly, if she's a threat to this country, then we have a job to keep people safe, and that's what the government's determined to do and will do. What's
your view on nurses being a special case when it comes to pay rewards?
Look, I think the strikes are really unfortunate. There's a lot of people in Plymouth who work in the public sector. I will always argue for them to get paid more, but you're chasing a really difficult problem here. The biggest challenge is inflation, and that is driving up prices across Plymouth and across the country. And people like the Governor of the Bank of England himself have said that if you continue to chase that with pay rises, you're never going to end it. So I don't think this is a binary issue that you can say well the right thing to do is. I think these negotiations need to continue. People are negotiating in good faith. And we'll get to the end of it. Look, I think you can argue there's a special case for lots of different professions like that, junior doctors and so on. I think I think these negotiations need to be conducted in good faith, and I think we need to bring these strikes to an end because there's enormous pressure on health services. People in my constituency want to see their health services working properly, and these strikes and withdrawing of labour only makes that more difficult.
OK, just before I let you go, we both know that you're the king of reality TV. Do you fancy following in Matt Hancock's footsteps?
No.
Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.